So I served as a civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army from 1995 to 2005. 2 years ago, Secretary Christine Wormuth, who was the first woman Secretary of the Army, uh, conferred upon me the title of emeritus. Civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, emeritus, means old. I hope beyond hope that the people here tonight who are, at the gala and will hear about this award will understand the truth of my heart, and that there's a deep reverence that I have for the service and sacrifice of, well, really so many people, all of our citizens. But when you talk about our armed forces and you talk about the kinds of support that are needed in order for us to be able to protect our country, I'm just filled with gratitude, and I hope that comes across.
A lot of times in my business, we like to think that we know what heroes are, and we write stories with superheroes and comic book heroes and Marvel heroes. And the reality is the folks that are being honored on these hallowed grounds are the true everyday heroes. These are the folks who have put their lives on the line so that we can have democracy in our country and really all over the world. So it does really put your idea of what is a hero in perspective to be in this space.
My mother met my stepfather at Fort Benning, Georgia, when she went to portray in a movie a female helicopter pilot, and he was assigned to escort her around the base, Sergeant First Class Pierce. They ended up getting married. So maybe there's a way I'm continuing her legacy of honoring women in the military. But pomp and circumstance, tradition, what our dress uniforms look like, when people are conferred medals. These are our society's ways and human beings' ways of trying to make sense of pain and loss and violence. We want to be a civilized species. We in this country want to be a good, decent people. So the memorials that exist around this nation's capital of ours are spaces that are created for reverence and thought and reflection. And it's so important we do that, hopefully, so that there won't be wars in the future. But there was, for a lot of years, a kind of like deafening silence about the stories of women in military history. Or it was always told as something that was, just outside of the main show, so to speak. Women have been deeply embedded. If it was a woman who's trying to cauterize the bleeding out of one of your arteries and you survived and you ended up going back and having a family and having grandkids and those people, those generations of people that are alive would not be alive were it not for the courage and skills and dedication that women have. So the fact that they have their own hall, it should be the whole city.
For me, it's such an honor to be able to bring this story to the masses. I think to learn about what these courageous women accomplished and what they were up against really encourages all of us, anybody, anywhere who's ever felt underestimated or undervalued, to know that you can be and do whatever it is that you are determined to do, especially if you're in community like these women were and supporting each other, uplifting each other, really creating change together.
It always surprises me because I travel, I'm working, when I come home, I don't know everything that my daughters have learned. I don't know what necessarily all they've been taught in school. I learn from them. So whenever I, start to share my perspective, they usually come back at me with even more rich, interesting, colorful stories and anecdotes. So I hope that what they probably say is like, so why are they honoring you if you're a man? Well, it's a good question. We all should honor each other, but the fact that we are so close to potentially having the first female Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the United States of America, is, it's just about time. So it's an extraordinary thing that Kamala Harris is the first female vice president of the United States. So her legacy as a woman, a leader, is already in the history books. But at this interview, we're 3 weeks out of an election that's, she could very well be she could be elected. So I think her picture will go great in here.
I'm just hoping and praying and doing everything I can to participate in this democratic process. I think this time now more than ever, we have to remember that democracy is not a spectator sport, and people need to not just get out and vote, but encourage your friends and family members to vote, make a plan to vote. Don't take for granted that it's just going to happen. Really make a plan. And then if you can, phone bank, go canvass, knock on doors, really figure out ways that you can make a difference, because this is such a crucial moment in our nation's history.
I've been blessed to meet senior leaders of the armed forces, the civilian and the, uniformed brass, and rank and file. They all love Goonies. they all love Goonies. Goonies never say die. It's our time down here. The fact that after 40 years that movie is still alive in people's minds and hearts is just hilarious. It's just hilarious. It's just a testament to when we experience things in our childhood that mean something to us, it lasts, So I'm sure we'd all be happy to go do a sequel if they ever did it. And absent that, however long I live, it's nice to know that there's still a rumor going.